The CoinDesk Spotlight is brought to you by Nexo, the place to earn on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more.
Deutsche Telekom, Europe's largest telecom by revenue, is entering the blockchain biz, purchasing a significant amount of tokens native to Celo, a decentralized payments network on your cell phone. Celo token is popping about 12% over the past 24 hours on the news. Joining us now to discuss is Celo Co-founder Rene Reinsberg. Welcome, Rene.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. So, Rene, explain to me the significance of this new partnership. How will Celo and Deutsche Telekom work together going forward?
Yeah, so look, I think for me, this is a really exciting news, not just for Celo, but also for the broader ecosystem. We've seen earlier this year companies like Tesla and Square start putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet, but we have yet to see companies, putting governance utility tokens on the balance sheet in protocols that they're looking to use, right? And I think that's going to be a trend that we'll see really play out over the next few years. And it's exciting to see a company of the size of Deutsche Telekom be the first to announce such a step.
How will it impact people using the Celo and Deutsche Telekom services? Are you working with Deutsche Telekom in any regard?
Yes, so Deutsche Telekom, is a global telco. It owns T-Mobile here in the US, for example, and obviously has a massive footprint, over 240 million customers. And so the insight into what customers need and want, particularly as it comes to financial services, is obviously huge. And for Celo, Celo is more than just one company, right? It's a community of companies. It's 130 organizations that are part of the Celo Alliance for Prosperity, which Deutsche Telekom is joining as the first mobile carrier, and that are already using digital assets for a variety of use cases, such as delivering COVID aid, helping people, get better access to loans through DeFi, and so when I think about Deutsche Telekom as a mobile carrier, I see some exciting opportunities because Celo is also the only blockchain that actually works on just a mobile phone. It also works on computers, obviously, but when we think about 6 billion smartphone subscribers around the world, they currently don't have a way to actually transact and in digital assets directly in a trustless way with blockchain currently.
So Deutsche Telekom has said, they're looking forward to working with Celo because every phone number is linked to the wallet of a customer. But how are you managing, privacy concerns and that people's data is, secure?
Yes, and this is actually an area where Deutsche Telekom is already supporting the Celo network. So there's a service as part of the protocol that maps in a fully decentralized way phone numbers to public keys. And that means that if someone wants to send a payment to someone else anywhere in the world, all they need is that person's phone number. So no longer you have to kind of request someone's public key, which also means that no longer does the recipient have to already have a blockchain address, but you can simply send a payment to a phone number, and then the recipient can verify themselves through that decentralized phone verification protocol and claim the payment. And that is done in a very secure way. And so, yeah, I think in some ways, there's concerns always with phone numbers around spoofing and, people getting access to systems. But here, I think just to be clear, the core architecture of blockchain in terms of the public and private key architecture is not really altered, right? The phone number simply serves as a proxy to simplify the user experience for sending and receiving funds.
Rene, former Citigroup chairman Dick Parsons just joined your group, just joined the board. You obviously you just announced the Deutsche Telekom deal. Those are some pretty heavy hitters. What's your long-term goal here as a company?
Yeah, so the mission for Celo really is to create a better financial system that can create the conditions for prosperity for everyone. And so Celo, as an open blockchain, similar to Ethereum, takes a very long-term view here. And we're already seeing hundreds of companies building on top of the network. Dick Parsons joining the board of the Celo Foundation, I think, is a really great signal also to the community that we're building for the long term here. We're not looking to just quickly launch something, and I think this is really. When I look around the kind of our community, we actually have our community all hands starting today, Koneko, which is an Esperanto word, means togetherness. And across sort of 2 days, today and tomorrow, we'll hear from many of the entrepreneurs building on Celo, and we'll probably have thousands of people attend. And it's really a testament for this community and sort of the strong pursuit of this mission and this alignment, the passion for it. And it really takes more than a company to achieve that. And it does take open architecture and open infrastructure, right? So that you can easily plug into also the existing financial system, right? So for example, in a country like Kenya, where mobile money is, it's obviously very popular, and more than 90% of the population use M-Pesa, there's several companies already working on enabling on and off ramps between M-Pesa and Celo Dollars, which is the stable coin on the network. And it's things like that really make the system actually work in the real world for real people. And so with this week's news around Deutsche Telekom joining the alliance, but then also the launch of the second native stablecoin to the protocol, Celo Euros, I think we're seeing kind of a big step forward towards enabling many more of these real world use cases. And so that's really exciting.
Do you think that DeFi or just decentralized projects in general need the cooperation of some of these bigger, more established financial players in order to go mainstream?
I think it's just a question of time until every major corporation is holding tokens and is participating in these open networks. Similar to how all of our current internet companies are built on sort of the internet stack, right? I think here this is the value stack, right? And so I think it's just a matter of time. We're still very early in this journey, but even if you kind of look at kind of more traditional financial use cases, like, FX spot markets, FX futures and derivative markets, and you look at the complexities around, for example, settlement. So I started my career at Morgan Stanley, so I worked in fixed income capital markets. And, the hard thing is not to kind of say yes to a trade, but it's everything that happens after two parties agree on a trade, right? And so you look at the benefits that blockchain can bring here, and particularly when thinking about DeFi, when thinking about a small company that's looking to manage, for example, FX risk, with sort of the rise of stable coins, particularly, in different currencies, you suddenly have a much easier way of actually, tapping into these solutions, which, previously would have required you calling up a banker and getting a quote. And, it's probably not going to be a great quote. And, then you have to kind of work through the process of actually getting the money and all of that. And so I think there's just the simplicity that people today already experience when sending a wire in a stable coin versus like sort of filling out a form, right? That is coming to the bigger financial system. And that's where DeFi is really going to help.
Rene, can you say how much Deutsche Telekom bought of Celo?
Look, it's their news, and they shared that it's a significant amount. They're going to run a validator, and so I think that's also going to be public soon, sort of on the network and the various tools. But we're excited, yeah.
Okay, Rene, thanks for joining us this morning, and good luck with the developments on your network.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks.